Are you waiting for rates to come down before you decide to step out and buy your house? Are you waiting for home prices to go up before you decide to sell your house? Are you sitting there saying to yourself, I don't know what's going to happen. Is it the time now? Do I make the move? Do I sit? Do I wait? Do I continue watching YouTube videos so I can learn more about what the housing market is doing? Well, if you're saying that, I'm going to say all of the above is the correct thing for you to do. Because this, folks, is the craziest, unique time that I have seen. I mean, when I say crazy, crazy with the uncertainty of knowing what I should do with my house, buying a house, selling a house, taking the money, putting my money away, in 7, 8, whatever, it's 2007, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, there was, we had the bubble, right? We had the crash. And we had a lot of foreclosures. We had, but a lot of people buying up those foreclosures. We had a very active real estate market. And then I would say for the next number of years, it was a stable market, right? We had people buying, selling. Interest rates were, pretty much manageable. People could still buy a house and afford it. Housing prices had not gotten out of control. So there was a lot of, I would say, stability in that, right? We had our little bumps and everything along the way. But for a lot of those years, I sold a lot of real estate. And people moved, people bought houses, and then the pandemic hit. And like any life-altering event, it has lasted, the repercussions of it have lasted and continue to last as of right now. I don't really believe there was anything coming back for it. I don't really believe that the time is going to change anything in the short term. People have changed, lifestyles have changed, the way of doing everything has changed for people, and that's affected, how you go to work. That's affected, like, where you're going to live. Places have changed, have closed down. A lot of that has happened. But what I wanted to talk about is that all started in 2020, right? 2020. It started in 2020. I remember. It was like March of 2020. And all of a sudden things were getting shut down. And then, that actually was an opportunity, though, for our buyers and our sellers. Because what that created is that just created, we had the onset of people getting stimulus money, and then there was money to sell, and then the people were having to sell homes, and I don't want to say that unfortunately people passed away and then they had to sell their home from this whole coronavirus COVID thing, but that was part of it too. A lot of people were at home, they had time to make the renovations, they had time to think about moving, they had time to think about, what do I want to do with my life? And so that changed everything. That landscape changed everything. But it keeps changing is my point. I would say what happens now, like we had that bubble and we had the interest rates so low. We had people selling. We had people buying. We had people refinancing. 2%, 3%, 3.5%, even 4% was good. Now we have people saying, I don't want to move. I'm not giving up my 3%. And I'm not telling you to move. I'm telling you, if you're comfortable, stay. But I'm also telling you, if your lifestyle says that you need to move or you've had a life event and it's time to sell, it's not a bad time to sell. Because even though our prices have gone down, even though our home prices have stabilized, they haven't really gone down that much. And we still see a number of homes where they're having multiple offers due to the fact that the inventory is so low, right? And you're always going to have people, I hate to say it, getting divorced, but getting married, passing away, dying, babies are being born. These are the facts of life. This is always going to happen. But if you're sitting on the fence and you don't know if you want to buy because of the interest rate and your dollar value has decreased, I get that. Your monthly mortgage payment is going to be higher because the house values are higher, taxes are higher, everything is higher. But maybe our expectations have to adjust, right? Maybe we can't afford that big house that we want. Maybe we can't afford that maybe as a first-time buyer, we have to buy something that needs a little bit of work. I get all that. And I get all that frustration because maybe 6 months ago or a year ago, that wasn't going to be the case. Maybe that's the case now. But I also know that there's opportunity, right? And I also know that this market will also change. Right now, the gift is if you want to buy something, you do have less buyers out there. So you may have to bid over a little bit, or maybe you don't have to bid over at all. Maybe you're getting it for what it's really truly valued at because you don't have 8-10 other people in line for that house. So I guess I'm just saying there is a lot of uncertainty right now. People stop me all the time. So how's the market? Are you busy? What are you doing? People buying, people selling, and in my world, in my own personal world, I want to say that there is activity, but more than often or not, people are just kind of waiting it out. They're waiting to see what's happening, and it's a big year. It's a presidential election. Is happening right now. The campaign is going on. I find it fascinating. I'm following all of it because that affects what's happening in everybody's world. Financially, I'm like you guys. I'm going to the store and I'm like floored at the price of things. But unfortunately, you can't stop living. You have to keep buying. Have I personally cut back? Yeah, I've cut back. You have to think, how can I make this go further and still enjoy life and still live? But as I said, life is constantly evolving and everything is constantly changing. And so I'm not saying we're going to have like prices drop. We're not going to have a drop in interest rate. It's not all going to happen at once. But I will tell you that in my heart of hearts, I believe the interest rates will go down. They're probably not going to be 3% like we saw before. But what will they be? Will they go down a little bit? Will they go down 1%? Will they slowly, chip down a little bit? And then that will still make, as a buyer, your buying power higher. And as a seller, more buyers will be out there, and you may want to sell. So, and if you have to do both, you can do both. And the other great thing about that is, if you have to do both, please contact me, because there are ways of doing it without having to sell your home first. Getting a certain type of loan where you don't have to make 2 payments on a house that's for sale and a house that you buy. You can just go buy that house, then put your house on the market, and there's obviously not limitations, but there's certain things that the house has to be sold in a certain amount of time, but it's very liberal. And contact me. I work with mortgage individuals that have that ability to do that. So all I'm saying, folks, is it is uncertain. The market is uncertain. But at the end of the day, do what's best for you. If you have any questions or you would like me to make any other forms of videos, please don't hesitate to like it, comment, put it in there, and tell me what you're thinking. Because at the end of the day, I'm here on this end of the camera selling real estate, and I want to know what you guys are all thinking. So thanks for listening. Have a great day.